Hey guys, Movie Fan here to talk to you about Power Rangers once again. This time I'm going to be covering a bit of the controversy that happened back then. And no, I'm not talking about Tui Trang playing the Yellow Ranger or Walter Emmanuel Jones playing the Black Ranger. This time I'm talking about something completely different, and that would be the old controversy that the show was just too violent for kids. Now, I think we may have heard this speech before because every now and again there's always one crybaby parent complaining that it's too violent for kids just because of the martial arts action, them fighting monsters and all that. Whether or not it is, that's a matter of opinion. For me, that's a lie. Because, I never had that kind of trouble when I was a kid. I never had any problems distinguishing the fact that it wasn't real. I didn't go around beating the living crap out of people just because Power Rangers made me do it, like some people would say. It didn't influence me to hurt people, like some people might claim, especially psychiatrists. In fact, just recently, I found two old news reports that reminded me of this whole thing, and I thought that this should be shared. So, we're going to watch that right now. And, well, you'll see my reaction to it, I'm sure. So, here we go.
The green.
Oh, the green one.
Aaron Perry's mom says his Christmas list reads like a Power Ranger catalog.
Yep, those are the days.
Thunderzord, every one of the action figures.
I know you want one, but look, hold on. Okay, hold on. Look.
Not everyone's sold on Mighty Morphin Mania.
Saturday morning cartoons average about 25 aggressive acts per hour. The Ninja Turtles come in with around 90 aggressive acts per hour. The Power Rangers have over 200 violent acts per hour.
The Power Rangers have started another fight over violence in children's TV. On one side, critics like psychologist Chris Boyatzis. His study shows the TV show does influence kids. So what?
Now, ask that question to school teachers who have to deal with Power Rangers fighting on a daily basis. Ask the so what question to parents who have to deal with kids who are more aggressive than they've been before.
Sure.
Comes a point where if you get concerned about certain things, then where do you draw the line? You're going to get concerned about everything. Eventually, you're going to be scared to walk across the street.
Thank you.
There you go.
It's an old debate with a new generation and their parents, some who take the advice of experts and watch with their kids.
I have to let them know that it's make-believe, so they won't go out there and try to kick any little boy around, and they understand and like the show. I like it too.
Critics say they don't favor censorship, but they do believe parents can help control the amount of violence in their children's lives.
Okay, that's the first video there, so we're going to move on to the next one.
Morphin Power Rangers. They wear Morphin sneakers and backpacks. They have the Morphin moves down pat. The hit show features teenagers who transform into so-called Power Rangers fighting to save the world from intergalactic bad guys.
That's the show.
It may seem innocent enough, but not so, says Diane Levin, a child violence expert and co-author of a new study on the Power Rangers.
What's happening is children are just coming to see violence as normal. It's what you do when you're upset.
Levin says this show is worse than predecessors like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because it intersperses footage of real-life actors with animation footage, making it hard for kids to distinguish between fantasy and reality. Of the 56 teachers that Levin and a colleague surveyed around the nation, 88% said the Power Rangers have prompted more classroom violence.
Bull crap.
I actually ask my children not to bring Power Rangers to school, and I allow them to write or draw about them, but acting them out and playing with them becomes too violent in a class of 25 children.
This show is not designed to be good for children. It's designed to get them to buy toys and products. And until the Federal Communications Commission limits that link up from happening, and until parents and teachers say enough is enough, we're going to have big problems.
Okay, that's the other video now. And really? I remember some of the stories I've heard back in the day, but nothing was like this. In fact, I could tell you for certain that for everybody I grew up with, we never had that problem. Nobody was going around throwing punches at each other back in the day. We weren't. We really weren't. And, fights breaking out in school because of Power Rangers, it was non-existent. Maybe there was a problem like that here and there at some schools or some places like California or New York because, well, it's California and New York, enough said. But come on, that kind of problem, 88%, that is complete bull. If there was any truth to that, then we would have heard about it and they would have canceled the show. And since the show was never canceled, that is definitely not true. I don't know where these shrinks got their degrees, probably off the back of a matchbook. But I'll tell you this, these shrinks are a joke. All shrinks are a joke, in fact. Because, they've caused more problems in the world than they've fixed. I mean, let's look at how shrinks have psychoanalyzed the human mind or the child's mind. Let's see. How many killers got off because they claim they got mental problems now? 100%, right? Right. And why? Because they use the excuse, I have mental problems. Because the shrinks, they just keep saying that sort of thing. This is clearly a load of baloney because, again, we never had that problem growing up. We really didn't. Everybody that I had known growing up, we all knew that the show wasn't real. We all knew that the monsters weren't real or anything like that. And if they paid any attention to the public service announcements done back in the day, they made it very clear that the show isn't real. And that they also say there's other ways to solve a problem. And let's not forget, in the series, they made it extremely clear that the way to solve a problem is not through violence. They did make that exceptionally clear in several episodes. The only time they ever used violence was when they were fighting monsters from outer space, for crying out loud. So there you have the age-old debate. And fortunately, nobody was paying attention to these stupid psychiatrists back then. So, were you having Power Rangers violence troubles when you were growing up? Or like me, do you think these shrinks were full of it? Feel free to let me know. This is Movie Fan, signing off.